My name's Dobie Gillis, and this is a time capsule. It represents permanence and durability. This is a rocket. It represents progress in science. This is my friend Maynard G. Krebs. He represents, well, nobody can quite tell what Maynard represents. Now, what do these four things have in common? Just wait and see.
Good morning, students. And I use the term students whimsically. Well, you are all no doubt wondering why we're meeting out here today instead of in our regular classroom. All right, so you are not, no doubt, wondering. But I am your beloved history and biology teacher, and I have prepared a stirring speech that I don't intend to waste. So I'm going to tell you anyhow, and you will A, listen with eager, fascinated attention, or B, win a real-life flunk notice of your very own. The A's have it, and so much for the art of gentle persuasion. Now to business. When our beloved founder, S. Peter Pryor, arrived here many years ago, he stood on this spot and proclaimed for all the world to hear, "This is where I shall establish my college." Rumor has it that he picked that particular spot because his feet hurt and he didn't want to irritate his bunions. However, those are probably only the words of opposing real estate operators. At any rate, this plaque stands on the most hallowed piece of ground on our campus. Tomorrow, they're going to remove the crumbling old base on which it was built and replace it with a newer, sturdier one. Now, barring unexpected foreclosure of the mortgage, the new base should endure for many years. So to celebrate the occasion, we are going to cement into it a most fascinating object, a time capsule.
A time capsule, Dr. Burkhardt?
A time capsule, Mr. Gillis. You do know what a time capsule is, don't you?
I sure do. Don't we, Zelda?
You bet, Poopsie.
Mm-hmm.
A time capsule is a cylinder made of lead, which, when properly sealed, becomes absolutely airtight. Thus, objects placed within it remain in perfect condition for hundreds, even thousands of years.
Thank you, Miss Gilroy. An excellent recitation, as usual.
You're welcome.
Certain objects, carefully selected to be representative of our culture, will be placed in the time capsule before it is deposited in the base of the plaque. Mr. Osborne, do you know why?
So that people can open the capsule thousands of years from now and immediately learn what superb creatures we were back here in the 20th century, correct?
Correct.
Naturally.
Tell me, Mr. Gillis, what article would you choose? Now, think carefully. It isn't a choice to be made lightly. Try to name a single object that represents, in a sense, what we believe in, what we're struggling for.
A photograph. That's what I'd put in that capsule.
A photograph of what?
Of a girl.
I should have known. Any particular girl?
No, any girl, just so she's soft and round and creamy and lovable. Because girls like that are the finest things our civilization's ever produced. And they're sure what I believe in and struggle for.
Constantly, Mr. Gillis, constantly. Your choice is hardly a profound one, but as a member of the sex in question, I can only say hear, hear. Miss Gilroy, you are always our rock of good sense. What article would you choose?
I would also choose a photograph.
Oh, of what?
Of Dobie.
Zelda, please.
I want women 1,000 years from now to study the picture of my Dobiekins and say, those women in the 1960s clawed and scratched and fought for their men, no matter how vague and helpless and simple their faces were. No offense, Poopsie.
Thanks, Zelda. Thanks a lot.
Quiet, please. You'll have to dig in and do some better thinking than that. You will bring the articles to be placed in the time capsule at tomorrow's ceremonies. That's your assignment. And the dean will make the final selection. And they darn well right better be sharp choices, because I don't intend to let future generations picture us as an eccentric, zany bunch of half-baked screwballs who...
You right?
Oh, Mr. Krebs, welcome to the land of the living.
Likewise, Your Professorship.
Mr. Krebs, you are a perpetually happy-go-lucky, cheerful young man. What light-hearted object would you choose to place in a time capsule for future generations to dig up and learn all about us?
Nothing.
Nothing?
But nothing, because there won't be nobody here to dig it up. I mean, one of them slack-headed jokers is going to wig out and push the panic button, and it's hello bomb time. Every human person in this whole world and every place else will be gone, like Bye-Byesville, like boom, boom, kerboom.
Yesterday, when Dr. Burkhardt brought up this time capsule idea, I was all for it. I mean, stashing away all sorts of things so people way up there in the future can dig it up and see what made us tick sounded great. Sort of instant history. But look what it did to my friend Maynard G. Krebs. Since the minute he laid eyes on this capsule, all he can do is run around hollering, boom, boom, kerboom.
Boom, boom,
Maynard, I want you to cut that been wailing and carrying on like a stuck pig ever since you saw that time capsule. What? What started it? What got you into this screwy mood?
It ain't screwy. It's like very mental. And it was a newspaper.
No. What was different about this newspaper?
I read it.
No. Now concentrate, Maynard. What'd you read in this newspaper that got you so shook up?
Oh, terrible, scary things, good buddy. People fighting other people, stabbing them, beating them up. Arson, they call it.
Yeah.
Robbing, knifing, cracking skulls.
I see.
That was only the comic page. Wait till you hear what's going on in the real world.
Maynard, I understand.
Yeah, and everybody's threatening everybody else. Overseas foreign countries yelling at us yelling overseas foreign countries, and there's armies and rockets.
Maynard, what's wrong?
I scared myself.
And now concentrate, Maynard. Your reaction to what's happening in the world does you credit. All those scary headlines were bound to upset someone as kind and sensitive and gentle as you.
Yeah, dogs come up the street and lick my hand.
All thinking people go through a phase when they're convinced there's absolutely no hope for civilization.
I'm convinced, and I'm not even thinking people.
Sure, the world's loaded with violence and hatred and all sorts of awful things, but it's got lots of wonderful things in it, too.
But what about them big, important bigwigs walking on them big, important conferences?
What about girls and tennis and hot fudge sundaes and water sports?
What about the armies and rockets?
What about hi-fi and fried onions and cool jazz combos and wearing clean starch shirts?
What you say?
Excuse me, Maynard. Skip the clean starch shirts. Maynard, stop looking on the dark side. There's good and bad in this world, and we can live with both of them. We always have.
I don't know, Dobe. I'm like worried and scared and jumpy. And man, when I feel like that, there's only one thing to do.
Maynard.
No, don't try and stop me, good buddy. It's the only way I can think and clear my head. Man, there's nothing like this stuff to make a man forget his troubles. Oh, what I wouldn't give for a lifetime supply of that Tutti Frutti on the rocks.
Just what would you give, Krabs, baby?
You name it, you got it, Waldo.
Then refresh yourself, my bearded gourmand.
You paying?
I'm paying.
Oh, I'm eating. Like, whoa, what's the catch?
Catch?
The joker, the kickback, the booby trap. With you, there's got to be one, Chatsworth.
That's most unkind, Krabs, baby. True, but most unkind. Now, actually, Maney, it's quite simple. Item. You hold a part-time job feeding the owls in Dr. Burkhart's biology laboratory. True?
Like, true. I got away with owls.
Item. Also kept in Dr. Burkhart's laboratory, in her desk, near the owls, are the questions for the biology exam she intends to give next week. True?
Like, true. So?
So, I want you to steal them for me.
The owls?
The exam questions, you ninny.
Oh, I don't know, Chatsworth. I myself am not personally enrolled in biology. I mean, I have enough trouble speaking English. Me steal? Me? Maynard G. Honest?
Quiet, you owe.
Me burgle? Maynard G. Honorable?
They'll hear you.
I don't care. I'm 100% American boy, and I don't do nothing dishonest, and I have a conscience.
Correction, Maney, you used to have a conscience, but it's useless to you now because none of us will even be here in the very, very near future. The end of civilization, isn't that what you said yourself?
Like, true, we're heading and zooming right for boom, boom, kerboom.
Correct. And so, gracefully expressed. So, Krebs, baby, since you won't be around for your conscience to annoy you anyhow, why not enjoy yourself now in the gay, fun-filled, delightful, madcap present? Refresh yourself, dear crony, and there's oodles more where that came from if you obtain the exam questions for me.
Oh, I don't know, Chatsworth.
I merely need to see them for a few moments, then you can return them. All right, then. I'll throw in a dozen new stereo records. Very well, then. Make that 2 dozen. And a fabulous custom-built hi-fi set to play them on. But that's as high as I go. Oh, gad, man, you're a shrewd bargainer, you hard-fisted businessman, you.
Me? You.
Thank you, noble citizen. Thank you. You are performing a glorious deed for your school and your country.
Such an exam question?
You see, under normal circumstances, I, Chatsworth Osborne Jr., with my superior Osborne brain, would have no need whatsoever for advanced copies of the examination questions. Why, then, am I in difficulty now, you ask?
Who's asking?
I shall tell you since you insist.
Who's insisting?
As the sole member of the Osborne dynasty, currently enrolled in this fine institution, I have certain solemn obligations. After all, who is best qualified to keep the name of our school bright and shining and continually in the public eye? Who?
The owl.
And Osborne, of course. When students drop paper bags filled with water on passing citizens, who must take the lead by dropping the first bag?
Who?
And Osborne. When students swallow goldfish, who must take the first swallow? And Osborne. When students cram into telephone booths, who must be the first to cram in and the last to crawl out? And Osborne, that's who. With such a tradition to uphold, can I be untrue to my family's reputation by shirking my obligation? No. Hence, I have had no time whatsoever for such prosaic matters as studying for a biology examination. When duty calls, and Osborne answers.
Chatsworth, you're all heart.
I surely am.
Too bad you're such a low-down rat.
It is a shame, isn't it? Now, tell me, when will you be able to borrow the exam questions from Dr. Burkhart's desk?
Oh, Chatsworth.
Don't bother thanking me, Maney, do. When do you go to feed the owls in Dr. Burkhart's lab?
1 o'clock on the dot.
It's 1:30 now.
I must have missed the dot.
Why are you dallying away? Bring yourself to that laboratory post-haste.
I don't know, Chatsworth. I gotta give this some high-powered thinking.
With what? no, Crash, baby. I just meant give it all the time you need. Up to immediately.
Well, my head's kind of cute, but it don't figure out things too good. What I need is some advice.
Advice?
Yeah, like right away, quick. And I know where to get it, too. From a person who's smart and intelligent and brainy and very, very deep.
Who says a propeller beanie and a sweet potato aren't great examples of the kind of people we are?
I do, and I'm beginning to wonder whether you're worth all the time and effort I'm putting in trying to get you to shape up.
I'm not, Zelda, so goodbye.
You are, and stop with the tricks already. You'll never get away.
Zelda, what do you want with me? I'm shiftless, irresponsible, I'm not too bright.
That's right, Snookums.
You don't agree so fast.
Also, you squint, you're pigeon-toed, and you'll be bald before you're 30.
No offense, Zelda, but it'll be a cold winter in July before anybody sees your picture hanging in the men's locker room.
We're both a couple of dogs, and we're stuck with each other. It's love, Buster. You can't fight it.
I can try, Zelda. I can try.
Sit down, mister, and cut the back talk. We gotta get cracking on the thingamabobs for the time capsule. The program starts at 5 sharp, and we gotta think about what we're gonna pick. Now, here's what I've picked. So far, I can't decide between a can opener, a ballpoint pen, and a bar of soap. They're all typical of our culture.
Well, I've got some airmail stamps and a jar of instant coffee and one of my old wallets. They're all typical, too.
The wallet's empty.
With me, that's typical.
Well, this one's natural. Copy of today's newspaper.
See? It's just like I told you. Ooh, them big, black, spooky headlines. Oh, and you say we ain't doomed. Dig this. Gang war in South Side. Dismembered torso in swamp. Monster devours Cleveland.
Maynard, that's the movie page.
Oh, read the rest of it. Even worse, you'll see.
You bet I'll read the rest of it. I'll read some of the good news you insist on ignoring. Listen. Leaders meet at Peace and Friendship Rally. How about that, Maynard?
How about this? Peace and Friendship Rally breaks up in brawl and fist fight. Look at this. Tigers maul Yanks.
Maynard, those are the baseball scores.
Oh.
No, not exactly, Dobie. 2 American hunters while tracking wild animals.
Never mind.
See, everything's going bad. Nothing good's happening. We're like doomed.
Maynard, enough. Sure, there are unpleasant things going on in the world. We all know about it. But do we run around depressing everybody, hollering boom, boom, kerboom? No. We try to make ourselves happy with the things that are good. And it's time for you to start doing the same.
Boom, boom,
Maynard!
boom.
I've had it with you, Maynard. I try to help you straighten yourself out, but you just won't listen. Now, get to the point. What did you come here for, anyhow?
Oh, I was talking to Chatsworth Osborne Jr., see, and I wanted to get your advice.
Okay, Maynard, I'll give you a big, fat chunk of advice. Wise up and stop trying to destroy everybody's faith in the future. If everybody felt the way you do, we might just as well run up a white flag and quit. There'd be no difference between right and wrong, between good and bad. Everybody'd do exactly as he pleased because there wouldn't be any tomorrow to think about. If you wanted something, it'd be fine and dandy to go right ahead and take it or steal it. Why worry about how you'll feel about it tomorrow? Because there isn't going to be any tomorrow. Now, what's this question you want to ask about Chatsworth?
Oh, it don't matter. You just answered it. Like, bye. Don't bother dragging the river from my body.
Maynard, look.
Cause I ain't got the bus fare to get to the river. You know what I'm gonna do, Dr. Burkhart? I'm gonna feed your owls.
Bravo, Mr. Krebs. Around campus, they're beginning to call you the Frank Buck of the bird set.
Like, thank you, your professorship, ma'am. I love them little pop-eyed rascals, and like vice versa.
No offense, Mr. Krebs, but just looking at you, I can see that you have much in common.
Like, thank you.
Feed the owls, Mr. Krebs. I'm just rechecking these questions for the biology exam.
Oh? Oh? Are you gonna stay there the whole time while I feed the owls, Dr. B?
Well, that was my intention, unless, of course, you intend flying around the room while you do it.
You think it'd work? Like, hi, Melinda. You hungry, girl? Yeah, you're hungry. Well, like, stand by. Daddy will feed you. Here you are now. Take a little nibble. Come on, little nibble. Come on. That's the girl. Oh, good girl. Bravo. Come on, you watch how Daddy does it. Watch. Delicious. Come on. That's a teensy-weensy little teensy bit. Come on. You don't want any iris, huh? You're too fat already. Come on, yeah. Hey, how about a song while you're eating, huh? No, not you, me. Melinda is my dearest friend. The hours we do spend. Playing ball, not at all. She's now on a perch.
No offense, Mr. Krebs, but I just remembered that I have to rush home and see if my house is on fire. I'll be back in... How long will it take you to feed the owls?
Oh, around like 10 or 5 minutes, depending.
Depending on what?
I don't know. Everybody else says depending, so I say it too.
I'll be back in like around 10 or 5 minutes. I'm sure you and your feathered friends won't mind being left alone.
Naturally, won't mind being left alone. Alone in Dr. Burkhart's lab with the biology questions?
Boom, boom, kerboom. Your conscience is useless now because none of us will even be here in the very, very near future. Boom, boom, kerboom.
If you wanted something, it'd be fine and dandy to go right ahead and take it or steal it. Why worry about tomorrow?
Man, I'd like to tell you two guys to flake off. If I only had a conscience. But what good's a conscience in a world that ain't long for this world?
Unlimited sodas, sundaes, stereo records, fabulous hi-fi set.
There isn't going to be any tomorrow.
Boom, boom, kerboom.
It's an unfair battle. Heart's like red, white, and blue, but my backbone's pure yellow.
Mr. Krebs, are you finished yet?
Oh,
I hope.
almost, Dr. B, almost. Here, Melinda. Melinda is my dearest friend. Happy hours we do spend playing ball.
Poor Maynard. I didn't know what was bothering him, but I knew it was something serious, because for the next few hours, he disappeared completely. Boy, I was really worried. For all I knew, Maynard could be in very serious trouble. Zelda, I'm scared. If Maynard gets into one of these desperate moods, he does desperate things.
Now, calm down, please, Poopsie. You'll blow your stack.
Remember the time he decided he had to get away from it all, so he sent his picture to a Lonely Hearts Club?
I remember how they sent it back saying they were lonely, not desperate. No, boy, Maynard will be fine. He always lands on his feet.
I sure hope so.
Wake up.
Maynard, where you been?
We've been half out of our minds worrying about you.
I had like problems, so I took a walk to do some thinking.
And what happened?
Oh, you know me, Dobie. As soon as I think for more than 2 or 3 minutes, I fall asleep. Like this.
Maynard, wake up. Did you solve your problem?
Not yet. I'm still thinking.
This problem of yours, does it have something to do with this boom, boom, kerboom silliness you've been carrying on about?
It ain't silly, and yes, don't you see, Dobie, if things ain't black and gloomy like I've been telling you, how come we don't know it?
Maynard.
How come every time you read one of them newspapers, nothing looks better, only worser?
Including your English. I don't know how I can prove to you that the world isn't on its last legs, but somehow inside, I just know it. We all do.
Sure, Maynard, and when the time comes, you'll know it, too. You'll feel it in your bones. You'll sense it.
Now, the cornerstone ceremony's starting. We'd better go. Come on, Zelda.
Quiet, please. Our program is a highly significant one, and we want to get started immediately. We are gathered here today to install a new base and a time capsule and the plaque honoring our beloved founder, S. Peter Pryor. And here to start the proceedings is our guest of honor, Dean Magruder.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. I prepared a scholarly, philosophical, profound speech. But unhappily, on the way over here, I lost it. Now, if anyone applauds, there's going to be trouble. That's better. Dr. Burkhart, I understand the members of your class have brought objects they consider to be representative of our era. And from these, I am to choose those which will be placed into this capsule.
Oh, yes, Dean Magruder. And I'm sure, more or less, that they've come up with some very good ideas.
We shall see. Miss Gilroy.
Yes, sir.
What items have you chosen for the capsule as being representative of our society?
I have a light bulb, a pocket dictionary, a can of push-button shaving cream, a can of push-button whipped cream, and a can of push-button toothpaste.
Thank you, Miss Gilroy. An excellent selection.
I also had a can of push-button hairspray, but I used it on the way over.
Mr. Gillis, what have you chosen?
Well, I've chosen a box score from the World Series and a picture of Commander Shepard, our first astronaut, and one of my mother's deep dish apple pies.
Pie, Mr. Gillis?
A deep dish. What could be more typical of our society? But to be perfectly honest, it's only half a pie. I got hungry on the way over.
When historians dig up the capsule in the year 3000, I'm sure that fact will not go overlooked. Mr. Osborne, Tell me, what items have you picked for the capsule?
Not items, Dean Magruder. An item. A single object which I assure you represents everything of value in our society. A copy of the Osborne family coat of arms, complete with the staring motto which has guided our footsteps throughout history. Heart, nihil, substantium, tangeray.
Most impressive, Mr. Osborne. And what is the literal translation?
Never dip into capital. This served our family well.
Imagine. Mr. Krebs, have you given thought to what you would like to place in the capsule?
Yes, sir, your deanship. What I put in that capsule is nothing.
Nothing, Mr. Krebs?
But nothing, because the way things are going now, there'll be nobody around to dig it up anyhow. All you gotta do is look at them big, black, spooky newspaper headlines. You'll see them like right. Everybody's yelling and hollering and arguing. I mean, there's no hope for nobody. I mean, we're like heading straight for boom, boom, Kerboom.
Surely, Mr. Krebs, things can't be that serious.
Oh, they're serious.
Hey,
all you gotta
hold
do...
it! There's something buried in here.
I kept fucking my shovel into it. With my luck, it couldn't be oil.
At the base of the plank? What could it be?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Newspaper. President says war inevitable. Future termed hopeless. Leaders agree.
See, what did I tell you? Like hopeless, like woe is me, like...
Boom. Just a minute, Mr. Krebs. Let me read further. Civilization on verge of collapse.
Like, wow, let's head for the hills. It's even worse than I thought.
Yes, mankind headed for calamity. And the paper is dated 1911. That's 50 years ago.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've been telling you. I mean, we're miserable.
50 years ago?
Yes, Mr. Krebs, 50 years ago. When they put in the original base for that statue, even then, apparently, they knew something about time capsules.
Don't you see, Maynard? Everybody's own time seems like the worst time in history while they're living in it. I guess our own time seems that way to us. But that doesn't mean we're not going to survive and grow and maybe even turn out better. That's the way it is with people.
50 years ago, they didn't think we had any future either. But we're still here, aren't we?
Still struggling, but still around.
Yeah, I guess cats like us will always be around. I mean, we don't use our heads too good all the time, but we're sure in there trying.
Good thinking, Maynard.
Very good thinking, Maynard.
Very good thinking, Maynard.
But, like, thank you, Dr.
May we dispense with old home week and get on with the ceremony? Now, Mr. Krebs, do you still want to put nothing in the time capsule?
Oh, no, your cap and gown ship. I want to put something real progressive in there. A note. Here, here's it. Write this good, small girl. To all you cats in Futureville, like, hi. We just want you to know that things back here ain't as bad as they seem. In fact, they're like the greatest. Signed, Maynard G. Krebs, 20th century citizen.
Greatest. Here, Maynard, sign it.
Very impressive, Mr. Krebs. I'm proud of you.
So am I, Maynard.
Dobe, I only got one question. Do you spell Krebs with a K or a C?
Welcome home, Maynard. Come on, Maynard.
Hi-ho there, Krebs, baby. You're just the chap I've been looking for.
Like, okay, Chatsy, I ain't backing out of no deals. Here's the exam questions I stitched from Dr. Burkhart's lab. I, Maynard G. Krebs, boy crook.
And here's a gift certificate for the finest hi-fi set available, plus the specified number of stereo records as per our agreement.
Look, Chatsy, a deal's a deal, but I figure maybe I'm going to be around for a while after all, and my conscience is going to be trotting right along with me, so you take the exam questions, but don't give me the records of the hi-fi or any of them other briberies.
Oh, Maynard, I was hoping you'd say that.
You was?
I sure was. Look, let's hasten over to the laboratory and slip those questions back into Dr. Burkhart's desk. After all, if an Osborne can't afford to flunk a test honestly once in a while, who may one ask can?
You may be a no-good slob, Chatsy, but you're a fine, decent no-good slob.
Snob, and likewise, Krebs, baby.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty misty.
So am I.